talk about how to use the custom payment links in QuickBooks Online to get embed a link in your email templates in order to have your customers be able to pay their invoices without even having to come into Benji Pays. So you may already be aware that in Benji Pays, if you go to Open Invoices under Open Invoices and Processing, you'll see a list of all your current outstanding invoices. From here, you can actually send an email to your customers to have them get a link that they're going to get be able to pay their invoice with. You can send it to multiple email addresses, either the ones you already have on file, or you can enter another email address in here. So we're going to send this off. There's a setting down here that says, force this customer to save the card. So depending on your current portal settings, you may already be forcing them to save their card on file, in which case this would be checked off. Either way, you can either check or uncheck this off to override that setting on a case-by-case basis. So in this case, we're going to give them the option of saving their card. So we've just sent that invoice off to them. We're going to go take a look at the email that we received. Okay, so we've sent that invoice off to them. We're going to see this email that we've received. This will have your logo here. It'll show the balance of the invoice, and there's a giant button here they can pay. You can customize that message when you're sending out the invoice. You can type whatever you want in there to show up here. And it also shows them the due date. And if we click on this, we're going to see that this invoice has an installment plan set up. We see the balance and whatnot. We choose to pay with an existing card on file, or we can pay with a new card. But what we want to show you is there's another way to send these out. So in Benji Pays, if we go to settings, if you're a QuickBooks Online customer, if you go to settings, QuickBooks custom payment URLs, you're going to come to this page and you're going to see a whole bunch of options here depending on what you have set up. Now, really quickly, most of you are only going to have one payment gateway set up with one currency. Many of you will have two payment gateways set up with two currencies. So this is a test environment, so we have multiple payment gateways that are set up with multiple currencies. Currently, we only have two of them enabled. So we've got both our Moneris gateways, one for Canadian, one for US dollars set up and enabled. So if we go back to the QuickBooks custom payment URLs, because we have one gateway for US and one for Canadian, we can actually use this link at the top. So this link will take based on the invoice number, will determine the currency and will route the payment through the appropriate payment gateway automatically. If you have more than one payment gateway for a single invoice for some reason, then you'll need to use the payment gateway specific links down here to make if you want to specify which payment gateway. So for instance, if you had a Moneris US dollar gateway and a Stripe US dollar gateway, Benji Pays would not be able to determine which gate you want to use from this link. And so you would have to send either use the Moneris link or the Stripe link in that case. But in this case, we could do that. The other things you're going to see down here, which we're not going to go into today, but you can explore, if you want to collect a payment for an invoice that doesn't exist yet or just need to get a payment, you can send one of these currency-specific invoices to your customer. And they're going to be able to enter an amount that they're paying. That's going to get recorded. It's going to go into your merchant account. It'll get recorded in Benji Pays and will show up under payments to apply here. And you'll be able to then later on, once you've created the invoice, come into payments to apply, select the transaction, and then choose which invoices you'd like to have that applied to, and Benji Pays will apply the payment over one or more invoices in your accounting system. For the purposes of this, we're just going to show you how to, the most general way that this gets used 99% of the time. We want to get this into our QuickBooks email template so that when we email an invoice out from Benji Pays, from QuickBooks, the customer has a link in their email that they can use to pay their invoice. So we're going to flip over to QuickBooks here. To do this, we're going to go to the gear icon. We're going to go to Accountant Settings. We're going to go to Sales, and we're going to go to Messages and click Edit. So on here, what we're going to do is, you can see we already have it there, but just to show you, I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to paste the link we just copied in here. So this is for our default email message sent with sales forms, and we've chosen invoice. We've left this email subject defaulted, but you can change it if you like, and we've entered our link. QuickBooks is going to replace this part of the link that we put in with the invoice number when we email the invoice. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to go and find an invoice that's due. This one looks good. And we're going to click send. We're going to send that to ourselves. And now we're going to go find that invoice in our email. So here's the invoice email that we received from QuickBooks, from Intuit. You can see the invoice number has been added onto the end of that link. And we click that, it's going to take us to the page with some basic information about that invoice. So we don't expose the customer name or anything like that, as someone could try to guess these links. But you'll see the invoice number, the amount due, and the date. We can now enter a card and pay this invoice just like any other payment, and that will get applied in QuickBooks for us automatically. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Just using test card here. That payment's been made. If we go back into QuickBooks, and we're going to refresh this page, and we'll notice that invoice is no longer here and showing as needed to be paid. I'm just going to sort this by invoice number so we can find it. So there's the invoice, it shows as paid. And if we look here, you can see the payment. We've got the reference number, our deposit account's been selected as per our settings in the payment gateway. All the details of that transaction are in here, just like you would expect from all the other integrated payments that you can make with Beni Pays. So now if we go back here, go to transactions, you can see that we've got this transaction for this invoice, $16.44, an amount of $500. It was approved. We emailed the receipt to the customer, and we applied the payment in QuickBooks. Now we're going to go find that receipt that we sent ourselves, well, that Beni Pays sent us. Okay, so here's the receipt that was sent to us, but it would be sent to the customer. It's going to look like any of the other receipts. Your logo will be here with your company name, and all your details will be here, and all the details of the transaction will be there, and a copy of the invoice that will say paid on it will be there as well. And that's how to use the QuickBooks custom payment URLs.